Coffee. I don't care. I'm reheating. I love to reheat my coffee. I know. I read in a book somewhere that it said, like, enjoy the little luxuries of life, like making new coffee. Oh, there's my alarm. Instead of reheating old coffee. And I said, who's watching me? Shut up! Shut up! Mama's back. Mama is back, and Mama is alive, and Mama's gonna have some coffee. Good morning. Today we're gonna try to do some filming and reading, kind of like challenging myself, but also realistically how much I can actually do in a day, in a life, because I'm actually quite busy. Believe it or not, I'm not just sitting and reading all day, but I want to show you kind of a full situation that's at hand. I think it's fun to watch. I like to watch these more stripped down videos of people. I don't know, it makes me feel good and happy. So cheers. Always have your water in the morning. Okay, so that's done. I'm gonna clean up my apartment. Oh boy, I gotta do that, which is a pain in my booty. But today, the intention is to read as much as possible. I really haven't been reading that much this year. I kind of feel a little bit behind. The idea is to motivate myself to read as much as possible. And I thought the best way to do that would be to read these little books that I have. All of them seem to have incredibly intriguing stories, and it'll be a way that I can realistically read, get back up my reading hours. I'm excited to just get into these. The one that I'm looking at is Mother Dying by Michael Lentz. Tiny little book. These are all out by Isolari Press. And then I also have Cooking Instructions by Solomon A. Red Herring. Okay, I love it. And then I also have Snow Business by Philippa Snow, which I'm really excited about because I think my understanding is that this is all just kind of like a gossip column. And I think these will be really fun. But first, I need to get myself ready because that's very important for me. Okay. And now I am alive. Look at that. The face is complete. And now I can start with probably my favorite part of the day. Even when I'm working from home, my favorite part of the day is getting dressed. I find it's been really important for me throughout the last year to just make sure that I'm not in my fabulous loungewear, but just actually putting on an outfit. So let's cue the outfit montage. Let's go, baby. I've been taking a lot of time to reflect on the way that I dress this year, and one of the ways that I've been elevating the look is through a pair of eyeglasses. What a drastic, unique way to make yourself feel good and top off the book. These pair of glasses remind me of this book. Something a little bit darker, something a little bit more unique, and something that has a little extra added to it. This pair reminds me of this book. Something a little bit lighter, something that seems like it might be a little bit more frivolous and easygoing in its personality. I feel a little bit like a diva, but something is shy and adorable about the way that I present myself. And this pair reminds me of this book, Gray on Gray, slightly little coy librarian, but maybe she has a secret. These glasses say chic and slightly edgy. Look at that compass, look at that level. She has many different volumes. So you may be wondering, what glasses are you even wearing? Well, let me introduce you to the Vooglam times TOMBOGO collection. Vooglam is an eyeglass company making glasses for those who see the world differently. At Vooglam, it's about improving your optics, so go ahead, frame your rebellion. TOMBOGO was founded in 2013 and it began as a creative platform for local artists and musicians. So between the two of those, you are sure to get something that will absolutely fit who you decide to be that day. So if you want to dress it down, you can dress it down. If you want to dress it up, you can dress it up. The utilitarian, for example, you are able to take off the level and you are able to take off the compass as you see fitting. You can dress it up and dress it down. So if you want to be a little bit less utilitarian, you can do so. Everything in the collection feels modular, so you're able to kind of pick and choose who you want to be that day. The architect, for example, you are able to actually use the carabiner and attach something festive that might really add to who you want to be. Really love these small design details. I'm a reader, so I'm constantly noticing those things. It's 2026. Let's add more personality, insight, and visuals into your overall look. All of these glasses are limited edition, and prescriptions are available for all. You can do blue light, you can do regular prescription, or you can even do sunglass edition. And if you would like to get a pair of the glasses for yourself, you can check out the full Vooglam times Tombogo collection via the link in my description and bio. And I also think that this is going to be the outfit for the day. Feels most fitting for what I'm trying to get into. Okay, hi, hello. I also forgot to say a really big part of my ritual for getting rid of the day is putting on a scent. And I just want to say something really cute. It was just my birthday, and Oleg went and got me a scent, a Lalabo scent, but he engraved AWJ into this little carrying case, which I think is kind of iconic. That's so cool. And yes, I'm going to spray it for being at home. Hello. Ooh. I feel like a full human, okay? I feel like a full human, and now I can fully focus. Just helps. Feels like I'm going to the office, you know, which is kind of what I am. Anyway, let's start reading these books. I know it's killing you to think, girl, what are you doing? Read those books. Let's read them. But I'm gonna shuffle them, right? Let's shuffle them. I'm trying to do this as random as possible. The first one that I choose is gonna be the book that we read, although I can definitely feel them. This one. Okay. For some reason, I was envisioning that this was going to be the first one that I picked. So this is Cooking Sections. I thought it said Cooking Instructions. Salmon, a red herring. What I think is actually really fun about this book is, look at this. All different colors. All the pages are different colors. How cool is that? Let's see. My idea is that this is going to all be about salmon and how to cook it. Let's start this and let's time it and see how long it takes. Not that this is a competition in timing, but just more seeing realistically how long it takes me to read, because I don't even know. So let's start it. Okay, y'all, this is completed. That was really nice, honestly. I don't think that I've sat and read for over an hour straight in quite a while, which is alarming because my job is essentially to read online, but I really have been so out of the space. I have not been motivated to pick up books. I have been reading books, but it's only basically been books from my book club, and I've just had a really hard time feeling like I want to pick up a book, and this was a really illuminating experience, and it felt really nice. I was reading and really into what was being said so much that I forgot that over an hour had gone by. I kind of arrested myself and thought, oh wow, yeah, this is what it feels like to not let your brain rot for a little bit, because my brain has been excessively rotting lately, and I hope it's not too apparent, but I feel a little bit fried. Not the best feeling in the world, but what I am feeling right now. This book is really great. I talked in an ins and outs video about how I wanted to read really niche nonfiction, and baby, this served up. This is the first in Isolari's book series. I really love these little books. I'm not sponsored by them at all. They do send me these, but I found the topics and the wide range of topics that they're exploring in all of their books to be really, really interesting. Again, this is small, so it does feel like a motivator to want to continue to read more. For me, one of the best catalysts for continuing to read more is to read a small book. I call them buffer books. I call them ways to just get back into the habit. This is catering to that absolutely for me. And this was really intelligent. This book, like I said, it basically has a color range of pages, and that is incredibly intentional because this book is exploring colors in natural settings and how they are able to be manipulated based on what is happening in their environmental surroundings or how they're being augmented and sold. So the main vein through this is salmon. The pages on this are actually the degrees of salmon that are accepted in different countries, right? So you have like Japanese salmon is much more dark, or you have Norwegian salmon, which is a different level of red, or you have American salmon, and the different values of those shades of red. And that is basically the fundamental way to introduce what this book is talking about. This little like essay, I would say, probably more than anything. So it starts with a chapter about oranges and how we receive oranges, which were originally this kind of green color, and how they've been manipulated into quite literally being oranges, and that's the only way that we receive them, and that's the only way that we really want to eat them. Then it goes into salmon and how the color of salmon can be manipulated based on where it's being sold. And it goes into the introduction of this particular yellow that was found in India, and how cows were actually the ones producing it, how they were being fed mangoes. It was producing this fluorescent urine that was then being deposited into the ground below them, and then that was what would create this beautiful and really sought after yellow color. Vermeer and Sargent were looking for that color and how they were able to sell it. It was really, really interesting. Yeah, I feel like that was a great one and a half hour read to resettle my mind and make me feel like I could focus for a little bit. I suggest this. Yeah, I mean, I definitely suggest this if you want to really have an emphasis on color and the way that it kind of seeps into everything, how we as humans value things based on color. I feel so brilliant. I feel so brilliant and so smooth right now. My brain feels like it's been checked in, but you know what I also need? I need food right now. I need a lot of food, so let's cook. Ooh, hey y'all. You know what I'm realizing? I need a red lip. Today we're gonna have some yogurt. Yogurt. I've also been, big life hack, dates. Oh my gosh, I love dates so much. Also, I'm supposed to have one a day. Isn't that the limitation on Brazil nuts? Yummy. Oh, and a kiwi. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I've got goods in my tummy. Little halfway through the day snack, right? It's really interesting because today, if you were to look outside my window, it is so sunny out, and we are just getting over the blizzard that happened in New York City. I went out yesterday. I always love to go out during snowstorms. It's so docile and timid in the city. During snowstorms, it feels like a weird place to be, but also oddly communal. I saw a man last night. A woman was cleaning around her car, and a man went up to her and said, "Do you need help? Please, I'm more than happy to help you." And it was a beautiful thing. Apple, gonna wash it off. I think I actually want to do some peanut butter too. Wow, what have I left myself with? Nothing. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it back in. Future me is gonna hate past me, but I just didn't feel like using it all. Okay, and then we got some honey. This is something that I didn't know about honey. It loses all of its really beneficial qualities when you put it into hot tea, for example, if you put it into piping hot water. I did not realize that. Look at that, stunning. Yes, food vlogging. Food vlogger. Come on, show it. There we go. Okay. It is 4:07, and I'm gonna settle down to read the next book. This one might be the last one that I read today, but this is Snow Business by Philippa Snow. She's an English author, and apparently, from my understanding, I did a little bit of research, this should all be about show business and kind of a cultural critic, which is right up my alley. I love show business, baby. That's show business, okay? I love it. And this is something that really, really tickles my fancy. Also, we don't talk about show business. I don't want to talk about the fact that my microphone wasn't working. I have some complications with this little microphone. I'm trying to use it more because it's a little bit more mobile, but oh man, I think I like my old microphone a little bit better. This is going to be great. I'm really interested to see how much of this I can get done in like an hour. So maybe I'll check back in about an hour and let you know where I stand, what's happening, where Mama is. Back into jogging my brain and making sure that I'm not brain rotten anymore. This feels good. And also, that deliciously healthy yogurt makes me feel like I can talk and behave like a human again, which is very important. I was waning, yeah, quite a bit. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you also see that a blanket has been introduced? Oh, that means you know I was snuggling. That means you know I was snuggling. Honey, this book, I'm really, really into this. This is snarky. This is intelligent. This is exactly what I needed to read right now. I got so into this book, I forgot that I needed to start boiling water for dinner. Okay, making some pasta. Not that exciting. I'm not that great of a cook. I'm willing to be vulnerable on the internet right now. It's just a part of who I am. I got to about page 108. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. This is very much in the vein of what is occupying my mind right now. I've been listening to a lot of Coffee and Cults, I think is her name. She's a celebrity commentator talking like deep dives into a lot of Hollywood's darkest secrets. And a lot of these essays mimic that in a weird way, taking on this stance and this structure, not necessarily defending some of the more base pop culture worlds, but looking at them kind of from not like an intellectual stance, but kind of, sure, let's say that. The first essay that I read was about Paul Verhoeven and Paul Schrader's takes on religion in movies. It wasn't necessarily my favorite one, but the next one was really interesting, and it was all about Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers and how that was a parallel to The Great Gatsby, and talking a lot about James Franco and a lot of the ways that his life mimicked the character as well, how there was these really evident parallels through both of their lives. The last one that I read was about celebrity autofiction and these weird subpar books that are published. Like Pamela Anderson had a book called Star that was published in 2004. I didn't even know that, but it was ghostwritten, and it was essentially her life, but it was written in autofiction. Also, side note, did you know that the term autofiction only came about in 1977? I didn't know that. It's also making reference to a Kardashian's book, The Dollhouse, that came out. Also Nicole Richie's autofiction book where she writes about her life with Paris Hilton and just how the celebrity autofiction is just a strange little blob of literary world that seems to either be like a huge hit or not a hit at all. And I now actually want to read Star by Pamela Anderson. I'd be totally interested to read it. And she has since written her own memoir, not ghostwritten. And Philippa Snow goes into talking about how much better that actually was. And yeah, it's great so far. I'm going to continue reading this. The intention was kind of to stop, but I'm just going to keep going. So hooray, yippee-ki-yay. Do you see that? That, to me, my friends, feels like I'm calling it a day. It is 8 o'clock, and usually that's the time that people probably begin their reading journey, tucking into bed. But I'm still going to continue to work tonight. I have a couple more things that I have to do, a little bit of work on the computer, and I feel like my mind is in a really good space to do that. And I'm almost done with this book. I'm stopping it now. I'm stopping it at Screenshots, which is, I believe, the last little collection or last story, because I am really enjoying the experience with this, and I don't want to rush it just for video's sake to be like, yeah, and I finished this book. I feel very comfortable in the fact that I got a significant amount of reading done. Even though these are small books, this to me feels like I'm on the right track. This probably was my favorite book that I read today. Not probably, it is my favorite book that I read today. I think what is done best with Snow's writing is that she's able to draw a lot of parallels to kind of standalone what we think a movie or something represents, and then pair it back to something that seems so drastically different, but they evenly exist in a world together. For example, she's talking about the movie Barbie, and then she's also talking about Poor Things. These two stories don't necessarily exist together, but at the same time, the way that she's able to draw this beautiful, completed analysis, they very much do. She also has really, really interesting essays about Francis Bacon. If you don't know, he is a famous painter. You've definitely seen some of his things. She goes into the relationship that Bacon had with this man, Peter Lacey, and just the dynamics of the relationship. And this is probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever read. And this was a quote that Bacon made about love and romance. The frustration, he once said, in an uncharacteristically romantic mood, is that people can never be close enough to each other. If you are in love, you cannot break down the barriers of the skin. Oh my God, that's so good. That is, oh my God, that is like one of the most beautiful things I've ever read. Truly. Also, she talks about this author, Heather Lewis, who I didn't know who she was, but I've heard of her book. She's famous kind of notoriously for the book Notice. I saw Criminale do a review on that, and I didn't think that it was actually a literary book, but Snow goes into really praising Lewis's writing and the books that she also went on to publish, and just this very sad life cut short, but this really traumatized response to a life, and putting out these like autofiction, to tie back into autofiction, a lot of alleged autofiction. Honestly, I'm very keen to read much more of Snow's writing, and I'm happy that I was introduced to her via this little book, and I'm happy that I was introduced to her in a way that I feel is very successful. Today has been a very successful day for me. I'm happy that I just realistically sat down and read in a way that I haven't in a little while. This is the year of physical media, right? I feel like I'm in the right place. This is my year to shine, reading forever. It has been a little bit off, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to just sit, chat about books, and read, and fall back into a habit that I love and has introduced me to so many wonderful people. So I'm back on it, baby. I'm back on it. Mama's back. Anyway, you guys are wonderful. You're fabulous. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next one. Oh, and the pasta was horrible, by the way. It was so bad. It was so bad. But it's fine. You know, I'm not hungry anymore, and that's all that matters.